happen? Tomorrow morning you're going to get up for the rest of your life, and there's 3 doors. And you're going to need to decide, and nobody can decide for you, which door are you going to walk through. And door number 1 is the door where you're going to lounge in the land of lazy. And it's a world filled with fear and frustration. You're drowning in doubt and discouragement in the river of regret. I wish I would have. I should have. I'm too busy. What if only? Right? You've got to change your words. If you don't get anything out of today, I want you to own your thoughts. I want you to own your words. Because your words are creating your reality. You think your life, you think it's other people, you think it's your job, you think it's your man, you think it's your kids, you think it's your faith, you think it's the size of your butt, you think it's the color of your skin. It is not. It is absolutely the words that are flowing through your head, and you are the only one that can turn them on and turn them off, because you're the only one that can capture them and take them captive. Right? And what I want you to do is I want you to start listening to that train that is running through your head all the time. And so whenever you start talking about, oh my gosh, maybe I need to go get a real job, right? Let's talk about what is a real job. A real job is where you have to go to work when they say, for as long as they say. They're going to tell you when you're going to work and if you get to go on vacation, just exactly what Tara was talking about. When you can have lunch, or even whenever you get to go to the bathroom. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, right, you don't want to be door number 1, you want to be door number 3. You're going to say, I get to set my own schedule. I get to base my schedule based on my priorities, my family dynamics, and my body clock, right? That's going to be your choice. If you want to stay in prison by a job, that's your choice. Own it. You all need to own where you're at today. Don't beat yourself up. Just don't continue down that path, right? But you own it. The other thing I hear from people is, okay, I'm going to go get another job because I need a guaranteed paycheck, right? That I can guarantee that paycheck is coming in. I said it earlier, it's guaranteed, but it's guaranteed not to change. And it's only guaranteed till you're about 55 and they replace you with a 20-year-old. And it's only guaranteed as long as you're willing to give up your faith and your family to build somebody else's career opportunity. It's only guaranteed for as long as that company isn't bought out or sold or goes overseas. You think that's guaranteed? You're wrong. You're wrong. That job is not guaranteed. It's what we've been lulled into and wired to and programmed in America that we're supposed to go out and get a job. Why? To make the rich richer. Right? I want you all to be entrepreneurs. If you're going to get up and put your heart and soul into something, let it be for your family. Let it be for your faith. Let it be for your mission work. Let it be for your dream. Right? When God knit you together in your mother's womb, He laid a dream on your heart. Right? That's why you're in Mary Kay. It's because it's starting to blossom. It's starting to grow. But you can't do that if you keep putting into everybody else. That's what a real job does, is it lulls you, dulls you. And then you wake up one day and you're 50 years old and you wonder where your life is at. You wake up a year from now and you're exactly in the same place. Why? Because you're buying this American nightmare. The American dream is to be an entrepreneur. Right? Where you're getting up and using that. The other thing I hear is that I just want to work with I have to go to work with a real job, with who they determine, right? If you think that it's bad for you to be around 5 negative people, take a look at your kids. Take a look at your nieces. Take a look at your nephew. Take a look at your ministry. Take a look at your marriage, because you are absolutely exactly who you are surrounding yourself with. And when you're going to work for another job, you cannot control who those people are. And it's seeping into every area of your life. Why do I want you to be brave? Why do I want you to step out? Because there's an entire generation in America depending on you to change who your inner circle is. Right? I want you all to be able to create an environment of peace and joy instead of fear and frustration. Right? So instead of having a breakdown, right, in a culture of quit. We live in a culture of quit right now. Y'all can kind of see this whenever we kind of go over. But America wants to tell you, they admire, I'm not going to do it because I don't feel like it. I'm just going to quit, right? I'm just going to have a breakdown. And they talk about like that's great. But you know what? When you're an entrepreneur and you're a winner and you're a champion, you don't have a breakdown. You have a breakthrough, right? So instead of having selfish, right? You don't want to be selfish, right? You want to be what? Selfless, right? If you want to be successful, right? So instead of being part of the building crew, right? America wants to be part of the wrecking crew. They want you to drag people down and they want you to tear people down. You're in America to be part of the building crew. We're about building confidence and building safe places and building businesses and building wealth and building abundance. What are you going to do with your talents? I'm just telling you, right? You don't want to be a victim, right? In America, America today on social media and in the news and everything, victim, 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 victim. It's great. That's what you want to do. It's your banner, right? I work 80 hours a week. You work 80 hours a week because you want to. Because you don't know any better, because you have no options. We were never built as women to work 80 hours a week to build somebody else. Look at the Proverbs 31 woman. She ran 3 businesses out of her home. Right? Think about that. The examples that we get, right, are not about running crazy, right? And so that's the thing. So you're not a whiner, right? You are a winner. You're not a victim. You are a victor. You are not a coward. You are courageous, right? And you do not have a sense of entitlement. You have a sense of gratitude. Okay, so here's what I want to tell you all. You consultants, I need directors to stand up for a second. I'm going to tell you right now, I have worked in every state and in many countries. And I tell this to corporate all the time. And the reason Mary Kay sends high-level corporate people is not because of me. It is because these women in blue. It is because these directors right here in the Mid-South are the greatest directors that have ever walked through the doors of this company. They are more go-give. The amount of time that they spend in prayer for you, whether you're in your unit or go-give, the amount of energy, the amount of thought, money, resources that they put into you, the amount of time that they spend protecting this opportunity for your future. I'm telling you right now that I have never, ever worked with a group of directors like the Mid-South directors. And you know what? I will tell you, the reason I became a national sales director, because I sat on Mary Kay's couch and I promised her, because I loved what Mary Kay did for my family, and I said, Mary Kay, what can I do for you? She said, Diana, I need for you to pass it on, and I'm not just talking recruiting. Diana, I need you to pass this on. We need more directors who love this company and who love women. And the Lord planted me right here 10 years ago. Right here in the Mid-South, right in the midst of the greatest directors on the planet. Let's give your directors a and that is ruled by the queen bee. I'm a gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do those 8 parties, and I'm gonna go with DIQ, but I can't because I'm stuck out here on someday someday I'll do that, and someday I'll do this, and someday I'll do that, but then I can't because I'm drowning in the river of regret. When I get out of that, I drown in the pond of procrastination. Good golly, it's hard to be me, right? That's what they do. They just jump from one pond to another, right? I mean, did you know that procrastination is the strongest poison to a peaceful life? And the other thing that I will tell you without a doubt is that when your purpose and your passion are clear, discipline is never a problem. Quit saying you have a discipline problem. You don't have a discipline problem. You have a passion problem. Right? You don't know why you're doing this, but it doesn't have to be the change the world kind of passion. It's change your own world. Change your own situation. Change your own financial situation. Change your own thoughts. Change your own choices, right? That's passionate enough. Take care of that, and then as you grow, you can change the world. But you change the world by you becoming who God intended you to be, right? And so you own that. I will tell you, talk to your family about the substitution you need to do for the next couple of months. Maybe for y'all that want to be nationals for the next couple of years, you're not going to sacrifice anything. You may substitute, right? Sacrifice is what the military does on a field of battle, right? That's sacrifice. Our military sacrifices, right? We're substituting one task for another. Get over it. We're like, oh my gosh, I got to give up Game of Thrones. Well, DVR it. Besides that, you're like me, you have to watch it like this anyway. So there you go. I'm like, oh, poor part. Okay, good. All right, so there you go. I know that I have to answer to the Lord for the Game of Thrones, but that's my issue. So you all need to get over your own. You got your own. So now we're watching it backwards. We watched it forward, now we're watching it backwards. Okay, good. So, y'all have your simple pleasures. So the point of that is, I don't know. And so I don't know where it's going with that. But I do it as my reward. Okay, good. So here's the thing, right? So I want you to be passionate. I want you to protect this company. I want you to protect. So between me and my girlfriend getting her AWS, off the phone. You all are off the couch. You all learned a lot today, right? That's right. Angelina and I were a mess. Okay, good, right? I want you to protect, right? I want you to protect your mind. I want you to protect your vision. And whenever anybody asks you, y'all have been around me long enough to know, right? If anybody asks you, how's your Mary Kay going? What are you going to say? Indescribable. Right? Because sometimes it's indescribably good, and sometimes it's indescribably not, and they can't help you. So there you go. They don't really care about you anyway, right? Exactly right. So I normally have a can of glitter, and then when you wipe them off your board, right? You do what? You say, wipe their name off. Say what? Bless their little heart. They're doing the best they can, and you spray yourself with glitter, right? So that's what you do. Don't let people steal your dreams, right? You put up boundaries, evaluate what you're doing. But now let's close out the elite land of excellence. That's why you sat here for 8 hours. To make sure that every single day that you own the choice of being a woman of excellence. Every single day. Not in everything you do. I'm not talking about being perfect. Many of you all are stuck because you're trying to be perfect. And it's not going to happen. What I am going to ask you to do are these things. Number one, characteristics of a person of excellence is they do what is right whether someone is looking or not. That means in the morning, if you said to your family, I'm paying the mortgage this month, that means you need to go out there and make how many ever calls. Somebody says, how many calls do I need to make? How many ever it takes to get 10 up? Yeah. How many do I need to make? How many faces you need to do? How many ever faces it takes to get to 8? Right? Quit worrying about the magic number and just be willing to do whatever it takes to get there. Because sometimes it's only going to take 8 faces to get 8 team members. Sometimes it's going to take 80. Who cares? Just get there, right? Y'all follow what I'm saying? And so what happens is when you don't do what you say you're going to do, at the end of the day, when you spend your day all day on the phone, doing the things that you're supposed to do, making those calls, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? You're doing the IPAs, you're doing the faces. How do you feel when you look in the mirror? You feel powerful, don't you? And the key to Mary Kay is closing the gaps between the wins, not closing the gaps between titles, not closing the gaps between promotion. It's closing the gaps between the wins, and the win happens on as many days as you do what you said you were going to do. It's whenever you have day after day of where you've been a liar to you. You have not done what you said you're going to do, right? And so what happens is you start to believe that liar in the mirror. But I believe if you're here that you are a winner, so you start making those choices. Number 2, they choose excellent friends. That's what I love about Laura McKeever. She is truly, I have very few best friends in Mary Kay, but I know right now, and she knows the same, it could be 2 o'clock in the morning and I'd be on a plane or I'd be driving. In either way. And you all, the biggest reason, and I don't want to use this as a recruiting tool seriously, but I will tell you that one of the biggest reasons why you want to move ahead is because you get a different group of friends. And you get a different group, not only that, pouring into your kids, right? Because we have prayer groups for our kids and our grandkids, and as they go through teenage years, you want a lot of people praying for your kids. I know we were sending boxers and notes and cards. You know what? That's what you want. You want that village of Mary Kay people, top people in their minds, pouring into your kids, right? You wonder why we lose a generation? Because all it's doing is society is pouring into them. Do you know what a good friend is? It's a friend who's someone who knows the song in your heart and can sing it back to you when you have forgotten the words. I'll say that again. A friend is someone who knows the song in your heart and can sing it back to you when you've forgotten the words of your song. They want to bless others and not just be blessed. How many of y'all went to Barbara Johnson's funeral with me? When the National Sales Director Barbara Johnson, when she passed away, there was her son-in-law said this, and it was one of the most powerful things. He challenged us, how many of y'all remember this? He challenged us to live a life that when people think of you, they thank the Lord for you. To be a woman of excellence, you live a life where when people think of you, they thank the Lord for you. Not because you're in a red jacket, not because you're in a car, not because you're a director, not because you're not. People don't remember your position. Your position does not make you, you make the position. And quit trying to wait on living your life until you get to a position. Live full out right now, and the position will come. Right? Own your life where it is right now. And then the last thing is that they're tuned into the radio station, WIIF where most people are in FM, but it's them. So W-I-I-F-T. What's in it for them? And we did this last year, and I just want to be able to kind of do a chant. Do we have the video that does work? Do we have the I Can Handle It video that works? It does? Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you every single morning, and as you're making a commitment, I want you to repeat after me with this. And I want you, as we do this, I'm going to have you make a commitment. So here's the first one. I will not take advice from people I would not trade places with.
I will not take advice from people I would not trade places with.
No, I mean, like, I need you to get out of the mirror right now. Everybody get out of the mirror. I want you to look, or get in your phone, do your selfie thing. Here we go. I want you to look, I want you to talk to you. Talk to you. Make a decision that your future self will thank you for. Okay?
Today is a...
Okay, that's good. Okay, that's fine. Okay, good. So here it is. Go ahead and play that. Good, go ahead.
New day. It will bring brand new blessings and brand new battles. But within every uncertainty, there is hidden possibility. So I don't dread any challenge that lies ahead, because I remember all the victories behind. And my confidence is not in my circumstance. The Spirit of God is my supply. I'm steady under pressure, and I'm ready for whatever, because whatever comes my way today, the outcome is I overcome. Christ is in me. I am enough. I can handle it. I can't afford to stay afraid or let my faith hesitate. My purpose is at stake, and He who called me is faithful. His strength in me is greater than any pain I feel or enemy I face. The promise of God is mine for the taking. Every plan He has made is guaranteed to come to pass. It will happen. If I don't back down, if I won't let go, it will happen. If I don't stop short, if I won't sell out, it will happen by faith. But faith doesn't take the fear away. It teaches me to fight it. So bring the battle. I'm ready now. I got something for Goliath. I can handle it. My power flows from presence, so I won't stay stuck in what was or worry about what will be. My regrets have been redeemed, and my tests have become my lessons. My focus is fixed, and my heart is expectant. I'm set. I'm not nervous about what's next, because my eyes are on the throne. I trust the one who's in complete control, the one who already knows how He's going to work it according to His purpose. Even the worst situations are sure to turn in my favor. If I keep moving forward, keep moving toward Him, God is with me in this moment, and whatever happens, I can handle it. I know my help comes from above, so if fear insists on knocking, I'm needed at the door. Life might give me bad news, but I've still got a good report. I can handle it. If I fall, if I fail, I'll handle it. Grace will give me what it takes